Hello and welcome to the small video tutorial series. And today we're going to talk about sound cues in Unreal Engine. We start right where we left off from our import tutorial. But this time we don't want to use an ambient sound to deliver our speech. So let us delete it from the scene and let us go back to our audio, and this time let us create an audio cue. We're going to call it Sample for Diffuse Presenting Holosys Audio Cue. Now that we have our audio cue, let us drag and drop the audio cue into our scene. I'm going to drag it right here into the middle of our scene and higher up to about head level. So now that the audio is back in our scene, the first thing I want to do is go into our sound options and go to our audio editor. In our audio editor, I'm going to select our source and I'm going to enable looping. Now that we have a looping audio file, I also want to add a little special effect, audio attenuation from a distant source file. So let us go and right click into audio and let us search attenuation. Now let us drag and drop the output from our source into attenuation and drag and drop the output from attenuation to output. Perfect. In our attenuation, I want to create a new audio attenuation setting. Let's call it Sample for Diffuse Sound Attenuation. Now let us save and let us take a look into our sound attenuation. In our attenuation, let us enable our attenuation distance and attenuation spatializing. To show our audio attenuation over distance, let us lower the inner radius and fall off distance from our audio source. So let us set the inner radius to 100 and the fall off distance to 500. Let us save. Once we go back to our editor, we can now see two spheres around our sound cue. One of them is the inner radius sphere and the second one is the fallout sphere. If you are inside of the inner radius sphere, you will hear the audio on its maximum volume. If you are outside of the fallout sphere, you will no longer hear our audio source. This will allow us to make our sequence seem a little bit more realistic. The closer we are to our sequence, the louder it is. And the further away we go, the more quieter it gets. Our attenuation spatializing also allows us to hear the sound come from a certain direction instead from an ending all-out surrounding. Let us demonstrate this by pressing play. So let us save and press the play button.
For Diffuse designs and sells volumetric capture technologies for more than 10 years now. With the Holosys, professional studios can now film real actions and turn it into a virtual asset for augmented, mixed, and virtual reality applications.
So as you could hear, a sound now comes from a certain direction. This makes our actor seem more immersive within our scene. We do not want to cut our audio off for the moment inside of this ship. So let us go back into our sample for this audio cue. Let us go to attenuation and let us higher the range back to 1000 just to make sure that we don't accidentally cut our audio off while we are still inside the ship. Now let us talk about audio volumes. Audio volumes allow us to have more control about our audio cues and ambient sound. In this example, I want to make sure that we cannot hear any audio outside of our ship, because you cannot hear sound when you're in space. To make sure that we do not hear our audio cue outside of our room, let us create a new audio volume. Let us also drag this audio volume as part of our environment. Let's put the audio volume in the middle of our room and let us change its size so that it encompasses the whole room. Now that we've drawn our audio box around our room, let us go back into our room and let us change the audio options. For this example, I'm only going to change one value. I'm going to go to ambient zone and I'm going to interior volume. This is the desired volume of sound inside the volume when the player is outside the volume. I'm going to set our interior volume as 0. Which means if I go outside of our volume, I will no longer hear our audio cue, which is inside of our volume. So let us save and let us demonstrate. As you can see here, we hear nothing. If I now get closer to the room, under those sloped panels, I will enter the box again, even though I'm outside.
Hi, I'm Thomas, and I work at 40 Views. 40 Views designs and sells
And we can hear the
volumetric
audio
capture
again.
technologies for more than 10 years now.
We can also use our audio volume to have more control over our audio cue, as well as creating reverb effects, reverb plugin effects, or fading effects. But we will not use any of those for this tutorial. So let us save our scene and look at our current results.
Hi, I'm Thomas, and I work at 40 Views. 40 Views designs and sells volumetric capture technologies for more than 10 years now. With the HoloSys